Welcome to another episode of Lifestyle After 5, our special Crypt Keeper edition. As we take the deep dive in the journey of the unseen world from a funeral director, Danielle, aka the Crypt Keeper. So
What's
today, what's going on? Today we're gonna imagine working in a place where life's final moments are just the beginning of the story. Today we're stepping into the world few dare to explore. Meet Danielle, a seasoned funeral director who's seen it all from the unexpected to the profoundly moving. Danielle has stories that will change the way you think about life and death. So let's dive deep into the unseen world. So I can't wait to hear about the stories you have to tell us today. And you always keep a good story.
this is 17 years of being a funeral director, and every funeral that I've done has a story. From burying my mom now to dropping off clothes. Yeah, I have stories. I'm always the center of the party. When they know that I'm a funeral director, the attention of whoever the party's on goes directly on me because it's like a round table. They always want to hear stories. They're like, "Oh my God, does the body sit up?" and things like that. So I'm
Is
always
it the families that want to hear these stories?
my friends.
Of
Whenever,
course.
yeah, my friends, they're always just like, "You have the best stories," and I'm just like, "But it's just work." Like, to me, I laugh and then I move on to the next case.
Dealing
But we
with
can dive into some great stories.
dealing with bodies is not a typical day at work, a typical 9 to 5.
But they don't bother me. They don't speak. They don't nag. I embalm and I move on to the next person. The only people that bother me are the families, but they have a right to. They want the best service for their loved one. But it's the ones that talk that are alive that get on my nerves.
I don't know. I mean, the spirits speak.
They don't. So
Movies
that's
is
another
just
thing.
so-
They're like, is your funeral home haunted? Why would a spirit want to linger around my funeral home? There's nothing there. Don't spirits attach to what they love or who they're around? So I'm just a chop shop. Send them on to the next. I'm like their holding period between life when they're alive to
Get a
before they get to heaven or
story.
hell. I'm just like, I'm getting them ready for the pearly gates or
Or you prep them for the other underworld.
yeah, the underworld. Exactly.
And I
So
laugh.
haunted, no. I don't think there's nothing at my funeral home that's entertaining other than me and me only.
So, do you believe in ghosts?
No. I believe in spirits. Is a spirit a go?
A ghost would be a spirit, yes.
So I think about Ghost Dad, right? The Bill Cosby. No,
My
I
brother,
don't believe in ghosts.
I do.
I've never encountered a ghost. Now my mom has died and I've heard her voice, but I never saw her, never felt her spirit. But I don't know if that's because I was tired and,
Well, I
hearing stuff.
mean, I don't ever want to experience one, but there's creepy things that I've seen, and then there's people that I know that have what they call them grave chasers, ghost chasers, or whatever.
Hmm.
There's some people that I know of that visit graveyards with all types of electronic equipment. Well, I used to work with them. I wouldn't say I know them like that.
Yeah.
And recorders and everything, and they come back and tell the stories of, you know,
See the
people
spirit.
talking from the casket,
Hmm.
they're from the grave rather, and there are a lot of I mean, there's the shows out there, paranormal activities. There's white noise. I never cared to venture that way, but no, I believe them in their stories.
So I've gone on ghost cemetery tours. In Orlando, they have an older cemetery that you go on tours, but I've never encountered a spirit. But the guy that hosts um, the tour, he's encountered famous people that are buried in that cemetery, walk up to him, start talking. But I've never seen it. And I don't know how I feel if a ghost walked up to me and
To all the spirits and ghosts out there, I don't have to see you to believe that you are real. You don't have to make it known. You don't have to make it fact to me. I believe. I want no parts of that.
I want to see. So come visit me at the funeral home. I just want somebody to I just want a spirit I just want to see. That might be weird. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I would, A good ghost, not a bad ghost. Just somebody that's nice. Just give me some advice. You know what I mean? Just give me the winning lottery numbers or something.
No, I could deal with that. Now, if you're a good ghost and you want to come whisper, "Hey, go play this
Yeah,
number," come to me. I could deal with that.
yeah. Not evil ghosts. We don't want evil spirits around us.
So you had that going back a little bit from our previous episode. So I guess you had that same fascination when you were younger, as you would grew up across the street from a cemetery.
Yes, I loved playing quote quote in a cemetery. But my playing was walking around and reading the dates on the markers and the tombstones that people call it, um, and just seeing how long they lived and wondering how their life was between the time they were born and the time they died. And I would sit on the bench and just have fun. My mom literally thought I was crazy, Ali. She was like, "We need to get you checked out. Something's not right." I'm
Mhm.
like, "No, I'm fine." She's like, "No, I've never seen a 10-year-old just sit in a cemetery." Like she probably thought I was like the demon child or something.
Children of the Corn.
Yes, because I was at the cemetery. She's like, "Doing what?" I'm like, "Watching."
Do you
Yeah,
think that affect the way you live life today?
yeah. I live life like there's no tomorrow. That's why I spend all my money because when you die, you can't take it to heaven or hell. And I don't want anybody fighting over my money. So no, I'm just joking. I do. Life comes and hits you fast, and sudden deaths. I'm sitting at tables preparing funerals for somebody that died real fast that was not expected. So I live like there's no tomorrow, and today might be my last day. And I hate when people say, "Oh my God, why would you do that?" Because I want to live out my life the best way I can. It's sad. It literally is. But I'm so desensitized with death. Like it's a problem now. It's a big problem.
Wow.
To me, it's a job, and I don't
So
know how to grieve.
would you have detailed instructions laid out for your funeral?
I
How you
so
want to
I'm
be?
torn now. I don't know if I want to be cremated or buried, and that's the problem that I need to sit down and figure out. I don't want to be 6 feet under by myself, and I damn sure my family's not going to visit me all the time. And then, do I really want to be burned at 1700 degrees and sitting in a cookie jar?
Now, do you know where 6 feet came from? That magic number of being 6 feet under.
I learned it in school, but I'm not sure. I forgot. That was so long ago. But
Oh, I'm
do you
curious.
know?
No, I don't know. I have to Google that. I was just curious as why not 4 feet? Why not 5 feet? Why not 12 feet?
So in school, we learned a little bit about the cemetery and then we moved on. I don't deal with the cemetery aspect of it. I've only worked at one funeral home that has cemetery attached to it, and we still were separate. But I can ask,
No.
I can find out for
You
you.
you have to go to school to like dig graves and stuff like that, or
No, no, that's anybody to dig graves. They
groundkeepers is what they
Yeah,
call it.
groundkeepers. Yeah, it's on the job training. You have
Wow.
to get a cert to be a crematorium operator, but everything else is on the job. And they can't hold people. Nobody really wants to do it. My friend opened up a cemetery in Mississippi a couple years ago, and he's still trying to hire people to help. But I'm like, nobody really wants to dig graves, drop caskets in there, and close the grave up. Nobody wants to do that. That's weird.
That's a great job for AI.
How's AI? AI is going to dig a hole for us,
Yeah. Take our job.
like a robot.
Yeah. As it take our jobs and we all become miserable and everything and die of depression, AI be there to bury us. Can't find anybody to do the job.
Like a big old robot.
Yeah, I'll do it with no emotions.
I see that in the future. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Now
kind of
you
weird.
mentioned the movie My Girl, which I still need to watch, as influencing you. What about that movie influenced you to being
So
a funeral director?
so Beta lived in a funeral home. Her dad was a funeral director. And my dream growing up was to always live in a funeral home. So she had access to, don't judge me. She had access
You're
to the
directing
funeral home.
Wednesday Adams.
I know, right? And she would go downstairs. Well, her ball, she actually was kicking a ball or something, and it went down in the basement, and she saw all the bodies. But that is the reason why. And then her best friend Thomas J died, and that's why, because of the whole watching her father, which is Dan Aykroyd, um, Beta, I can't think of her name, and then his girlfriend, I can't think. Oh my gosh, what's her name? I'll think of it in a second. But it's just their life in the funeral home, and he met the girlfriend. She did makeup for the body. It was just great. And I was like, I want to live in a funeral home. I want that job. Mom was like, why? I was like, he's in a casket and he got stung. And she was like, he needs his glasses. He needs his glasses. And I don't know. I love it. It's my favorite movie.
So I take it you find Gomez as a sex symbol.
No,
Seems
no,
like it'd be the perfect match. The Adams.
no, no.
Did you used to watch that?
Adam's Family?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I can't believe you didn't support.
So growing up, I watched Rescue 911, Unsolved Mysteries. I hated cartoons. This is another reason my mom had me checked out, like evaluated,
I
because
did
I
watch
never.
Unsolved Mysteries. That voice.
Yes, I would watch Unsolved Mysteries, Cops, Rescue 911, nonstop. And my mom was like, "This girl is crazy. She does not want to watch cartoons. No, I want
Wow.
realistic things. I don't see a talking cat. A cat talking does not make sense to me. A cat doesn't talk. So I wanted the real ish.
Did you ever get into burying animals?
No,
Pet
absolutely not.
cemetery.
No, absolutely not.
Is that a special training for
You
embalming
know,
and burying animals?
I don't. You don't embalm animals.
Oh, okay.
Second, there are pet crematoriums that are
Mhm.
out here. I've had calls to my funeral home saying, "Hey, do you cremate animals?" I'm like, "No," but I would refer them out to one that I knew that actually cremated animals. But no, I wasn't.
Is it like a licensed regulatory thing?
Yeah, they have a crematorium. They use a crematorium just like any other one, and I assume they just, you know, I don't know if they have a different retort from an animal to a human. I've never seen an
If I say you
animal.
can't get that money, go and bring Fido by here and we get this quick.
Listen, I thought about it when I started the funeral home I own now, to like, maybe we should cremate animals. Animals die fast. You know what I mean? Like so fast that you might make some money. But how much do you charge on a, $100 or something? Like I think we're 800 for a direct cremation.
$300.
Huh?
A quick $200-$300.
Yeah, cremate a dog, a cat, a fish. No, we don't do fish. You just put them on the grill.
Depending on what country you are in, that could happen with a dog or a cat.
Mm-hmm. I still don't have any animals. I don't want to get too attached. I already have my mom's ashes over here. I don't need another animals.
So, I mean, but and then those little urns, because now they got little special pet urns and everything. That's a big money maker.
So I have a friend that owns a casket store in Florida. Um, you don't have to go through the funeral home to get your casket where we upsell. You can go to his storefront. He has caskets all. You just order it and he'll deliver it to the funeral home and earn. He makes a killing. No pun intended, but he does make a great. He's well off now. Yeah, and I was like, dang it, I should have did that. He might charge 1,800. We might charge 2,600. And he actually has down the funeral home prices of, hey, if you get this at XYZ funeral home, you'll pay 2,800. If you get it from me, I'll give you 1,300. And he might buy it for 650.
Now, what has been the challenges being a black woman in the funeral world?
So I have only worked at a Caucasian funeral home, and I have dealt with so much racism, being a young black funeral director, and an all white funeral home. I've had people, family members say, we don't want you doing our funeral arrangements. We don't want to meet with you. I've had, I don't want you to touch my mom. My mom is racist. I've been called an N word. It's not good, but I also, like, when they say they don't like me, I'll embalm their loved one and then tell them that I did it and I did a great job. But that's just because I've gone with all white funeral homes because I could travel. And then when I want to move different state to state, there's always this corporation that will hire me because it's a corporate.
Well, dealing with white funeral homes, I would say you can make more money because
Yeah.
the pace is faster.
Yeah. And I don't
Right.
want to say that all black funeral homes do illegal stuff, but majority of the ones that you do see have done some unethical things where I'm just like, I would never want my names attached to that.
Yeah, it takes me back to the story of this guy that had the crematorium in Georgia. Oh,
Yes.
remember that? It was about what 15 years
Yes.
or so ago when he was supposed to embalm the bodies. And he was just said his burner went out, I guess, and he was just like the hell with it, and was
Yes.
taking folks. I don't know. He just giving them ashes and dumping their loved ones in a field.
Yeah. That I've had funeral homes that I've known in the city I'm from um not properly store a loved one, and they put them in storage or like like storage facilities. Um
Wow.
yeah, stack them up, and I would just, not saying that all, other funeral homes are like that,
There wasn't a
but
smell to that.
huh?
There wasn't a smell to
Yeah,
that.
there was a smell. I think that's what triggered um the law to be brought out to his funeral home. Yeah, not saying that every other funeral home is, not run ethically, but we have so many protocols, and we have like rules to follow. Like when we embalm, we have to measure the formaldehyde and stuff that we use compared to just freelancing and where people can, sell it and get high with it. Um, and plus, I have stock in the company, right? I want to go where I have stock and I have leave and sick time and things like that. And they're the ones that pay on time. I hate to say it, don't want to sound racist, but I get a paycheck every 2 weeks on time.
Now, ironically, like I said, growing up, my babysitters actually lived in the back of a funeral home, and I can
Oh, you
remember,
do some of this.
yeah, and I can remember my mom saying that a little bit of embalming fluid would make your nails grow strong. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can remember her asking for small doses of embalming fluid to put on her nails.
Ah,
Yeah.
mm, not sure about that.
So yeah, that was one of the
I
things
don't
that
have nails, and plus I don't put it on my nails, so I couldn't tell you.
you wear gloves nowadays. Back in
Oh
those,
yeah, you
and
wearing
by the way,
respirators and everything.
that's not recommended. Like I said, I just remember her talking, taking that chance. I don't know what transpired with that, so don't try that at home or
There you go.
don't
I was like, add that disclaimer so nobody try to come into,
don't practice it
hey, I
around
need my
folks.
nails to grow.
Well, they may grow without you because your nails grow after your death.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So it may kill you. That is very
Yeah.
dangerous.
So a lot of funeral directors or that I know have ended up ones that have been in the industry for over 40 years have been dying from esophageal cancer, because back during the time that they're embalming, they didn't have like the respirators that we wear now. And
Yeah.
so smelling the fumes and getting into your system has caused a lot of cancer. And I've had a few funeral directors that have died from stage 4 esophageal cancer. So um, it's crazy. You do something you love and you die for
Yeah,
something you
of
love.
course. Chemicals are real.
Yeah, they are, and they're very potent and powerful. So you
I
know,
mean, eating the insides of a human out.
see what now?
It's just eating the insides of a human
Yeah,
out, basically.
yeah.
So
Oh,
you
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I want to tell you a crazy story.
we always welcome crazy stories.
All right. So there's a story of I met with a no. Let me go with this one. So I have 3 individuals walk into my funeral home looking for the manager, and of course, I was the manager on that day. They had suits on. I had no idea who they were, but they were part of the alphabet boys, if you want to say, looking
Mhm.
for somebody. Um, the person's mom passed, and the person was on the top 10, top 20, let's say top 25 most wanted.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, you know, we just found out that their mom died, and the only way that we can find this person, um, he was a gypsy, um, is for him to come into your funeral home. So by chance, we ended up getting the mother, and I called, made the arrangements. He came in, made the arrangements. Looked totally different. Had a had like a cut wig, glasses, like hat on, just calling out. It's Florida. It's 98 degrees. Why do you have all this on? Um, so we finished the arrangements. I set the funeral up, and they're like, just we're gonna be in the back of the chapel. This is like a few days later, and we'll wait till he walks in. It says his goodbyes, and I'm like, I'm part of this like sting.
They
Like this
stay
is
respectful. They let him say his goodbyes.
yeah, yeah. And then when he was walking back down from the casket, he kissed. Well, of course, he kissed his mom. We closed the casket. Then they came out of the aisle and was like, "You're under arrest for blah blah blah." And I was just like, "This is crazy.
Wow.
This is crazy."
The
That's
family
one of my stories. You
the
have to
family
like,
didn't get upset?
huh?
The family didn't get upset?
No, 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 no. They didn't get upset. No,
I can
they
tell
they
it was a black
knew they
funeral.
knew that that's the only way he'll come out of hiding is to say goodbye to his mother.
See, if that had been a black funeral, they would have had to bring the SWAT team
Oh
and
yes, SWAT.
uncles.
Yeah, they busting
Yeah,
in.
everybody would have been cussing, "Oh,
Yeah.
that ain't right. This at the funeral. Y'all didn't have to do him like this."
Yeah, yeah. But then you know, right? Because majority of them are different than us. So you would say, like, who is this? That's the ops sitting in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
don't
who
come
is
in. The
this?
ops
Like,
back.
yeah, because we looking like, who we start whispering, like,
Right. We know everybody walks into
who
the
they yeah, who they some kin to? You know
right.
them? I
You
don't
know
know
them?
who they is.
Kiki, don't come in here. Don't come in here. I think they in here. We're looking for you.
Yeah, that's when somebody, excuse me, who you with?
Yeah, who you with? Yeah, who you with?
Who
Who
you
you
some
know?
kin to? Yeah, who
Right.
you
Like, how
with?
you know him?
Oh,
But
yeah, that wouldn't work with us at
yeah,
all.
that's definitely a story. I just was like, this is crazy. This is really going down. And then there was a newspaper the next day with the funeral home name saying, yeah, he was caught and he was on the run. So he was on the run from, like, I think he was charged in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all the way the states down to Florida, crime of robbing people and yeah, luring females or whatever. And he was on the run. And they're like, yeah, his mom passed away. We know he'll come to the funeral. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Yeah."
He should have requested a video funeral.
That was that was in the early 2000s. So we weren't doing video funerals then. COVID is what really got us to do like lives and um Zooms and things like that. Where we're like, oh, if you can't make it, tune in to on our website. You can
Now,
send virtual.
every funeral is damn near on Facebook
Oh
now.
yeah. Definitely. We have in our chapel, we have cameras on each corner, and then we have a camera, which I hate, zoomed in on the casket. And I just hate that because, one thing I don't do is I don't go live on social media because I don't want anybody clicking on our page. It's just, to me, it's disrespectful.
Mhm.
Or reposting it and I'm scrolling or somebody's scrolling through Facebook and see a funeral. Like, some people are just not ready for that mentally. They don't want to go into a funeral home. They don't want to see a dead body, and I just don't do it. So we have Zoom, and you can share it, but it's not attached to social media.
Is that extra?
Yeah, it's extra,
Damn,
extra.
gotta get a
Yeah,
pack.
but we do for free record the service, and you can have the video. But go on social media
I
because
don't
we
know
have
how I
papers.
feel about recording funerals. It's not something like I see picture. They want to take pictures of their loved ones in the
Yeah, I don't
casket
like it.
and everything. I am not a fan of that. It's not a moment that I personally want to relive. And the memory that I have of that person will stay in my head
Hmm.
forever. I don't want to be scrolling across pictures one day and there they are in a casket.
Yeah, my brother died in 2016, and if you go Google his name, he was killed in the Pulse shooting. But if you Google his name, you will see his body, like his casket image, and I just can't stand that. Like, hit
Was
image, you see him.
was that by request?
No, it was the news was there, and they took pictures and they
Oh,
uploaded them.
that's disrespectful.
And I was so mad. I was like, close the my funeral home is the one that did the funeral. And I was like, close the casket, close the casket. Like, I don't want, this is not a publicity stunt. This is not for the news to come on and to, go live at his funeral. Like, I just don't like it. This generation is different. They will take selfies with the body, post on social media.
This
Um,
generation not only will do that, they will also hell, they'll have funerals at the club.
yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I've
that
I've
won't be
buried I've buried individuals with bottles of Hennessy and all types of liquor. So when they get to the afterlife, they have something to drink. And I'm just like, okay,
they
all
got
right,
you
let me put it
rubbed
at their
it.
foot. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
But what
crazy.
pastor what was they buried in a church? What pastor allowed that?
They're dead. I just
But
put
I'm
it by
saying
one of them I put it by in their hand because that's what the
I'm
family
saying,
requested.
you gotta bring a bottle of liquor
Oh,
in the church and lay in somebody's church as he preaching over you. Now this set the stage now. Here it is, you dead. You laying in a casket with a damn bottle of Hennessy, and you probably never been to church a day in your damn life. But the pastor got to get up there and say, well, y'all know Earl, Earl was a good dude, you know. Earl, you didn't see Earl in church long, he didn't come to church much, but see, the Lord knew Earl's heart,
yeah, Lord knew
Earl,
Earl's heart.
Earl didn't come in here, but Earl was good. Earl would give you the shirt off his back. He had a good heart. He'd do anything for you. I
Right.
remember when he helped that old lady across the street
Yeah.
and everything. Meanwhile, Earl's just studied laying there with that bottle of Hennessy waiting on him to finish. Now, Earl did some things, but
Earl's done.
all of us, we done all done some wrong in our lives too. And I'm sure before Earl died selling crack and got shot, he looked up to the Lord and he said, Lord, forgive me. And for that, I'm for certain that his soul is laying in heaven right there with that bottle of Hennessy.
Yeah. The things that get me is, and I can't judge, but somebody that had a sudden death or was murdered or was robbed somebody. I've had somebody, I did a funeral for somebody that kicked in a door to rob them and he was shot and killed. And at the funeral that we did, I just like cringing because I'm like, this guy was really not a good guy. Like, the reason why he's dead is because he broke into a house and the tenant, you know what I'm saying? The resident shot and killed him. Like, be truthful. Everybody knows how he died.
Well, I mean, you got some pastors that try to bring it.
Oh,
I've seen the opposite in the Baptist church, where they tell the families, "Look, if you gonna pay me to do this funeral, I'm gonna tell it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
oh
sugarcoat.
yeah,
It. I'm gonna
absolutely,
tell it like it is. He
absolutely.
dead and gone. He gone to hell. But this is my moment to save the rest of y'all. Y'all can join him in hell, or you can get right now.
Right,
The church is
right.
open.
Now the church is open. The church door is open. If you want to
Yeah,
accept God as your Savior, Jesus Christ, please come up. Oh, and I've had swarms of people give their life to Christ at a funeral, and I'm like, this is amazing. You know what I mean? But then they go out, right? Because after the end of our funeral, they're playing rap music and all this other
praise.
stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, we just had church. And now you're like, fuck them, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay.
Hey, they
Something's
gave
wrong.
their souls. They asked for the
Yeah,
souls.
yeah,
You didn't say it was a permanent change.
yeah. I did a funeral where they passed out shot glasses and was pouring and had whatever liquor they had because I wasn't paying attention. I removed myself from that situation and I went to the hearse, but they were taking shots. And I was like, well, do what you got to do. I
Oh, shit,
mean,
somebody else gonna die that night. It's gonna be a bad misunderstanding up
yeah.
at that funeral.
I did one where there was a shooting at a cemetery. That might be a next episode story. Yep, that's a
Yeah,
next episode. The
we
shooting at the
definitely gonna have to talk
cemetery.
about that. Damn.
The shooting
Where
at the
the hell was you?
cemetery.
LA? Did you bury him in a
No,
blue
I was in
casket?
Florida. What they call it? The gunshine state. And I was like, and I'm oblivious. Like I was like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, they are shooting. All right, the person's dead. I'm gone. But I'll tell you about that in the next episode because I don't want to get started and keep the suspense going.
But that's good. This is a great way to end this segment. As always, we thank you.
You should have one where the casket's being shut.
Huh?
You should have a sound where the casket's being shut. Do I need to go to the funeral home and close the casket? Well, you can't
Yeah.
really hear it, but I can kind of make it.
Can't tell with the
That
fault. We'll
shut.
come up with something creepy next time.
Or maybe we can just use creepy voices.
Oh my god, you're so weird.
Or we just tell all of our listeners to join us next time on Lifestyle After 5.
Goodbye, people. We'll see you next episode.
Good night.